So this is the physical science lesson video for section 6.1, and as always, if you'd like to have all my videos for the year in the same spot, just subscribe to my channel. So now we're going to talk about covalent bonding. So if you watched the 6.1, we talked about ionic bonding, so today we're going to focus on covalent bonding. A covalent bond is a chemical bond in which two atoms share a pair of valence electrons. So in ionic bonding, we had a transfer. One atom would actually lose an electron and another atom would actually gain it. They would become oppositely charged ions, and then that would attract them to each other. In covalent bond, they share electrons. So really the shared electrons belong to both atoms. When two atoms share one pair of electrons, the bond is called a single bond. So if they share one pair, then it's referred to as a single bond, and it's drawn as a dash, which we'll talk about that later. So if you look, these, they both need, this is our first energy level. Remember, first energy level holds 2 electrons. So this one needs one more, but this one also needs one more. Well, they both need one more, so they can't do a transfer of electrons, or neither of them are going to be happy. So what they do is they share those 2 electrons. So see, now they both have the 2 electrons to make them stable. So sharing electrons is a covalent bond. So here's an example of covalent, and here's ionic. So we'll do ionic first since we did ionic in the previous video. So in ionic, what happens is one electron is actually transferred to another atom. So this atom loses the electron, this atom gains it, and now because one is positive and one is negative, they are attracted that way. In covalent bonding, they share the electrons. The electrons belong to both of them equally, and that's called covalent bond. So a molecule is a neutral group of atoms that are joined together by one or more covalent bonds. So when we're talking about covalent bonding, because nobody's losing or gaining electrons, there are no ions or charges involved. The attractions between the shared electrons and the protons in each nucleus hold the atom together in a covalent bond. Many non-metal elements exist as diatomic molecules. So di means 2, atomic means atoms. So it's 2 atoms that are bonded together. So diatomic means 2 atoms. And the elements that exist as diatomic molecules are H, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, chlorine, bromine, and iodine. So those are elements that instead of existing by themselves, like calcium is just Ca, oxygen is O2. So like the oxygen we breathe in, it's not just O, it's O2, because they like to pair up and be diatomic. So how are you going to remember which elements are diatomic? Well, it's actually really easy. There's 7 of them. So you start at element number 7, which is nitrogen, and then you make a big 7. See how this makes a 7? So it's NOFCl, and then you just have to remember hydrogen. I don't have a way to help you remember that because it's all the way on the other side of the periodic table. But those are your diatomics. So start at element number 7, make a big 7, and then just don't forget hydrogen. So whenever those elements are by themselves, they always have the 2. Okay, so they always have a subscript of a 2. When 2 atoms share 2 pairs of electrons, the bond is called a double bond. So if they share 1 pair, it's a single bond, 2 pairs, it's a double bond, and if they share 3 pairs, it is a triple bond. Okay, so here's an example where they're sharing 2 pairs. So you would have a double bond, it's drawn as 2 dashes. And here's an example where they're sharing 3 pairs, and so a triple bond is drawn as 3 dashes, like that. So, section assessment. What attraction holds atoms together in a covalent bond is the attraction between the shared electrons and the nuclei of the 2 atoms. So the shared electrons and the nuclei of the 2 atoms. So number 2, which of these elements does not bond to form molecules? So we have oxygen, chlorine, neon, and sulfur. Well, if you look, neon is a noble gas. It's in group 18. So what do we know about group 18? They have a full valence electron shell. If they're full, they don't want to react. So neon would be the one that would not bond to form molecules because it's already full. It doesn't want to share. Number 3, based on their electron dot diagrams, what is the formula for the covalently bonded compound of nitrogen and hydrogen? So it says based on their electron dot diagrams, so let's start with those. So nitrogen is in group 15, so it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 valence electrons. Hydrogen is in group 1, so it has 1 valence electron. So it's saying, what would the formula be? Well, if hydrogen and nitrogen share this one electron. Then hydrogen will have its two. Well, here, let's do it like this. I'm trying to think of a way to draw this better. I don't normally draw covalent bonds in the way that they're asking this question. All right, so here we go. Let's do it like this. So if hydrogen and nitrogen share these two electrons, now hydrogen has two, which remember, hydrogen's in the first energy level. It only needs two to be stable. And now nitrogen has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's not quite there yet. So let's throw in another hydrogen. So let's say hydrogen and nitrogen share these two electrons. Okay, so again, this hydrogen is now stable because it has two. Nitrogen has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Almost there. So I would just come in with another hydrogen. One more sharing, so hydrogen's stable. So now nitrogen has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And so what we would end up with is NH3. Okay, and we'll do some more practice with that in class, obviously. You need more practice than just seeing me do that one time. All right. I don't actually know if there's another slide for this one or not. Well, nope, there isn't. All right, so hopefully now you understand a little bit more about covalent bonding and diatomic molecules.